My name is Renison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Channel. Now, on the 27th of July was the anniversary of the 1990 coup. And when some of us would have been looking at the salient effect and would have been distracted by such, none of us are looking at the real issue. None of us. And the real issue is, why was this attempted coup? And however, well, everybody knows Yassim Abubakar, but however, the information in which it was spreading throughout the public fall on deaf ears. And my question is why? Why? The government at that time would have keep on blaming him and saying, boy, your holy nation at hostage, your holy parliament at hostage. And everybody would have looked at him as a character to be feared and not to be dealt with. So I'm going to play this video here in which have been floating around the public domain, because look, today when I was going through it again, I would have played it for my mother and my neighbor, and they would have said they never heard something like that. So the issue in question is this: why this information was not investigated fully, and why nobody have been brought to justice concerning this. And the video is this.
Talking about 1990. How would you describe that to someone who'd never heard about what happened?
We were cleaning up the drug trade, right? And excuse me. And the government ministers was found in the airport by a woman police officer with all these drugs. I mean, I'm not talking about 10 kilos, a substantial amount of drugs. These ministers, right? And she came to us and told us that the government is planning to kill her. So I said, well, why would the government kill you? She was working with the narco section in the airport, of course in plain clothes and a uniform, and stumbled onto them with all this cocaine. So then she tried to get this matter addressed by the commissioner of police and everybody, and nobody wanted to take her and say, you crazy, this is the Attorney General, the Minister of National Security, the advisor, and the Major Thompson from the Army, and this is ridiculous, we can't report these people. And then finally she came to us. 4 days after she came to me and complained about this matter, they created a mock battle at Chagaramas, and she was sitting in a bus, and one of the police officers in the bus shot her in her head and killed her. 4 days before they killed her, she came to me and told me the people who were in the VIP room, the people I just called and told you. So after I exposed that, then they unleashed the state machinery on me and occupied my land, and then every Friday I couldn't have any peaceful prayer. They would destroy the things until finally it come to the court and I arrested them and charged them for the murder, and that's the coup. That was what the coup was about. We arrested them. They said it was wrong and we could make this a settlement, and so they wrote an amnesty. They betrayed it, but after 2 years it went to the Privy Council and then we were let up. After 1990, the authorities destroyed everything while we were in prison. They bombed all the things, everything. They just destroyed literally everything except the mosque, right? And the man was driving the tractor up to the mosque and it overturned and almost killed him. That's why he didn't destroy the mosque.
Since 1990, there's been a lot of scapegoating of you as of some sort of bogeyman for what's sort of happening in Trinidad right now. I mean, do you feel like you've been targeted by the officials here?
Since 1990, I've been charged for murder, I've been charged for conspiracy to murder. I've been charged for treason. I've been charged for terrorism. I've been charged for guns and ammunition. Nothing has stuck because they just fabricated all these cases against me. So that is not prosecution, that is persecution.
We're hearing a lot now that the narco trade here is ramping up a lot.
Yes,
is it coming from politicians? Is it coming from business people? Where is it coming from?
Everybody's involved. Everybody's involved. Everybody, the police, everybody's involved. The Coast Guard, everybody's involved. Our next one neighbor, 7 miles, is Venezuela. And then right next to Venezuela is Colombia.
Everybody.
And right there, this is the transshipment point.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And all of a sudden, nobody didn't talk about this. Nobody had nothing to say about this. Bernadette James, WPC Bernadette James. The Jamaat Muslimid would have given an account on this. And only when you go into the it, you go start to realize how corrupted this was. However, picture this. This woman, Constable Bernadette James, sitting in the middle of a police bus. The police filled with the bus filled with police officers on an anti-terrorist exercise in Tucker Valley, Shogunas on October the 2nd, 1987. The bus was attacked by terrorists, and in descending on the bus, shots were fired. Somehow, a live wrong mysteriously entered the chamber of a policeman gun outside the bus. A live wrong reportedly went through the front glass of the bus, bypassed everybody that's sitting in the front of the vehicle, and struck James in her chest. According to sources, James entered the room at Piaco and saw the then Attorney General, Sherwin Richardson, and a other official in question in a questionable transaction with another person. But as far as James was concerned, she saw nothing, and the person did not think so. However, so they exert pressure on her, and her superiors get rid of her. Nobody talking about the thing with Bernadette James. Everybody studying Abu Bakr and the mere fact that he shut down the country. He do all kind of thing. Everybody, when they hear about this drug trade thing, nobody don't want to talk about it. Nobody don't want to talk about it. And there's a next video in it, in which a former government minister would have talked about. But Camille Robinson Regis just jump up on she high horse and say that'll take place here. Let me play that clip for you because it needs to be played.
Factors that drive corruption in the corruption perception, and one of them was red tape. And you know that just clicked with me. And yes, you're right, because where are all these unlicensed guns coming from? Why is there such a heavy crime? Let us not pretend that we don't understand. Yes, there's some domestic crime, but even among the domestic crime, many people are on drugs. You have to understand that a lot of the laws, and maybe I have this understanding because some of them were around when I was a minister, the Revenue Authority, they have diluted it completely, and because we don't have time to go into it. The gambling legislation, we should not have gambling in this country. We have too much money laundering. EU has blacklisted us. You saw they had a meeting in Barbados with Mia and the Prime Minister about de-risking, meaning taking you off completely. You see the Prime Minister has run off to Washington for 4 days to discuss that topic. This country is a corrupt country. And if people want to pretend that they do not understand that at the root of this corruption in this country is the transshipment of cocaine that is able to give people power to open up businesses, for the businesses to fail, for the businesses to reopen, to have the politicians jump in at their call. The Procurement Act is a perfect example of the level of corruption in this country. And yes, it's deliberate. All the reports. I know I was inside there, and one of the things that he was, in my view, this is what I picked up. I think that he was now prime minister. I think he wanted to end. He wanted to come out. He wanted to go and preach or whatever he wanted to do, which that's a whole different issue. And I think he wanted to leave and deal with the drug trade. I'm telling you that. I'm not asking you that. I can't tell you the names that he called to me. I can't call the names to you. But if I tell you the names that he called to me, who are the big business in this country, you might be shocked. I'm not asking you if somebody told me that he told me. I'm telling you that he told me. I am telling you that when I was setting up the financial intelligence unit, I knew who wanted the job. I know what jobs they want. I'm not going to say what jobs they want. And I know who wants those jobs, because those are the jobs that allow them to be able to get sensitive information. I'm just telling you that. And I told the Prime Minister, the person who I knew wanted the job, I said, he's not getting it, you know.
So you would have seen this, people. This is something that everybody running from. Nobody don't want to say what it is about. And everybody know that this country is a transaction point. What going on? Everybody running, they're talking about the coup. Yasim this, Yasim that. My problem is not that it right or wrong, you know. That is not my judging. But the allegation in which was brought up concerning it was not investigated fully. This country, at Trinidad and Tobago, there are a lot of things that is taking place beneath the eyes, and nobody says anything. Some of us that make we believe that we living in this kind of bubble. But to the man on the ground, we just see and understand plenty of the things. You all them Venezuelans coming from. But you know what it does do when they come here? Come now, man, let me don't play with yourself. These are things that need to be investigated fully. This drug trade in which Trinidad is within the middle. Why all governments that come into power is hiding this simple fact? So when you hear talks about the 1990 coup, ask about Bernadette James, the woman who lost her life in this kind of stupid mock exercise. A bullet just entered the chamber just so it missed people in the front of the bus and then shoot she in she chest. Wow. Something sounding familiar. Sometimes the same thing occur when it is they catch somebody in a house and they throw a gun on you, and it's always at 38. Where are we going, Trinidad and Tobago? Where are we going with this? Again, this is the Workers' Rights Platform, in which we talk about social issues from time to time. If you ain't subscribed yet, like, share, subscribe. And in the future, we go be expanding this, in which we go bring on a plethora of speakers, in which they will be saying different things within their field. This thing in Trinidad and Tobago had to stop. The buck stop with us. Good night, people.